Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my book review series. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Voddie Baucham's book, Fault Lines, the Social Justice Movement, and Evangelicalism's Looming Catastrophe. In the past few years, the issue of social justice and its relationship with evangelical Christianity has become a contentious topic, to say the least. And in his book, Voddie Baucham offers a critique of the social justice movement and its impact on the evangelical church. This book actually has been widely discussed and debated in Christian circles, making it an important contribution to the ongoing conversation about social justice and the church. And this is why I read it, and this is why I kind of want to review it. Now, for those who don't know who Voddie Baucham is, he is a prominent figure in the evangelical community, and he has served as a pastor, professor, and an author. He is a highly influential figure in the evangelical community. He has spoken on numerous occasions in numerous conferences, churches, and seminaries, right? And has written several books on topics such as biblical masculinity, family, apologetics. And his teaching and writings have gained a large following, particularly among conservative Christians who value his emphasis on biblical truth and cultural engagement, right? But Fault Lines has had a significant impact since its publication in 2020, right? The book has sparked lively debate, let's just say it like that, and discussion within the evangelical community, with some praising Baucham for his clarity and biblical fidelity, while others criticize his views as divisive or harmful, right? Now, despite the controversy surrounding the book, it has been widely read and discussed, indicating its relevance to current discussions within the church, right? And again, this is why, I picked up the book and I gave it a good read. So I kind of want to discuss the central theme of Fault Lines. And I believe the theme of Fault Lines is the incompatibility between the social justice movement and biblical Christianity. Baucham argues that the social justice movement emphasizes issues such as systematic racism, gender identity, and intersectionality, probably a little bit too much, which pose a threat to the gospel and the unity of the church. And he also contends that the social justice movement promotes a different gospel that replaces the biblical message with a message of victimhood or oppression, right? And moreover, he argues that the social justice movement's emphasis on identity politics, intersectionality, and systematic oppression contradicts the biblical message of salvation and reconciliation, right? And lastly, according to Baucham, the social justice movement is rooted, and deeply rooted at that, in Marxist ideology and is incompatible with biblical truth, right? Baucham criticizes the methods and language used by these social justice proponents, arguing that they often rely too heavily on emotional manipulation, guilt, and shaming tactics to advance their agenda. And he also criticizes the church's response to the social justice movement, claiming that way too many Christians have embraced it without fully understanding its implication. And that's where Baucham asserts that the church's failure to discern the movement's dangers threatens to undermine the gospel and the church's mission. And he calls for us to return to biblical principles of justice, which he believes are rooted in God's character and revealed in Scripture. Now, with that being said, let me move into his writing style. And I believe Baucham's writing style in Fault Lines is very clear and direct, making his arguments kind of easy to follow. And he uses a combination of personal anecdotes, biblical exegesis, and cultural analysis to support his claims. However, some readers may find his tone confrontational and his language a bit harsh, particularly towards those he may disagree with. From a Christian perspective, Fault Lines presents a strong critique of the social justice movement and calls for a return to biblical principles of justice, and I appreciate that, right? Baucham's emphasis on the importance of sound doctrine and the authority of Scripture is commendable, right? As is his call for Christians to engage with culture in a way that is faithful to the gospel. However, again, I do want to point out that some readers may disagree with his assessment of the social justice movement and its motivations, and may find his approach a little bit overly critical and lacking in nuance. Personally, again, I do not completely believe this, but I can see why someone else would. Now, with all that being said, I want to kind of move on to my rating for this book. So I would rate this book an 8 out of 10. Fault Lines is a thought-provoking and challenging book that raises important questions about the relationship between social justice and evangelicalism. While some readers, again, may disagree with Baucham's conclusions, his critique of the social justice movement and its impact on the church is an important contribution to the ongoing conversation about these issues. And from a practical standpoint, Fault Lines can be helpful for Christians who are seeking to, navigate the current cultural climate and engage with issues of justice and inequality. Baucham's emphasis on the importance of biblical truth and the dangers of worldly ideologies can serve as a helpful guide for Christians who want to understand how to respond to these issues in a way that it is faithful to the gospel. Additionally, fault lines can help Christians to think more deeply about issues of justice and inequality, and to engage with these issues in a way that it is grounded in biblical truth. And by offering a critique of the social justice movement and its underlying assumptions, Baucham invites readers to consider alternative approaches to these issues that are rooted in the character of God and the teachings of Scripture. But anyways, guys, without spoiling too much of the book, that's the video. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Also, please don't forget to leave your opinions on this book in the comments section. I really want to hear what y'all have to say about it, and how would you rate this book. But until next time, guys, peace.